Good evening, welcome to Football-Oranje, your home of Dutch football in the English language. Netherlands 6, Turkey 1. What an evening for the Dutch. And Louis van Gaal has turned it around in the space of like 6 days. Incredible. We'll be talking about him, the players that played tonight, the performance from the Dutch, and much else besides. I'm Michael Statham, writer for Football-Oranje. I've got Mike Bell, the Football-Oranje founder, and Euro expert, otherwise known as Alex, who's very well known on Twitter nowadays and TikTok and whatnot. So if you like your football, you like your fantasy Premier League and everything else besides in European football, go and check out what Alex does. Thanks for joining me both. Now, that was a great evening, Mike. What did you make of the Dutch and the turnaround that Louis van Gaal has made with them just from that Norway game? And whilst that was a different game, of course, what kind of things has he done to work wonders in a week?
I think this game was summed up in the first minute. I think you saw what Van Gaal's done and what he's changed is he's got intensity back on everyone's side. They absolutely harassed the Turkey defence from the first minute, and you saw the mistake not a mistake, but the hounding of getting the ball back in the first minute set up the first goal as well was excellent. And from that point on, Netherlands had their backs up. Turkey were pinned back, and Netherlands just attacked them and made them make mistakes, punish them, and played just some glorious football. The first two goals were outstanding. They're two goals that belong in the Rijksmuseum. There's outstanding little flicks between Memphis and David Klaassen, excellent finishes. That set up. I think that Netherlands are a confidence team. When they start with confidence, things go very, very well. It's when things start to get edgy and it gets close to things usually start to go wrong for Netherlands. So that goal in the first minute just set them up perfectly, and Turkey just couldn't handle them tonight. And 4-0 at half time up against 10 men. Van Gaal did Turkey a favour by taking off Frankie de Jong at the break, and they did a bit of the pedal off the gas in the second half. But 6-1, great victory, great revenge for what happened in Turkey. Top of the group, in control, and 4 on paper winnable games to come. Couldn't ask for a much better day to be a Netherlands fan than that.
Some brilliant goals, some brilliant interplay between David Klaassen and Memphis Depay. For like 3 of the goals tonight, it was all because of them two linking up. Just a magnificent display from them. And the difference that Van Gaal has done with the tactics, his awareness is so different to what Frank de Boer was serving up. But what more can I say? There's a lot of happy people watching live. If you're not watching live, do drop us a comment, of course, on YouTube and let us know what you thought of the match. And Alex is here because he did watch Turkey an awful lot in the lead-up to the Euros and fancied them to be a bit of a dark horse at the competition and led a lot of people astray by their performance at the tournament.
You had to mention it, didn't you? Yeah.
They were dreadful, weren't they?
Yeah, they were really bad. They were awful. I was saying off camera, I will blame a lot of it on, well, not a lot. I'm not going to say they would have won the game or even got a point or not lost 3-0 if Soyuncu hadn't been on the pitch. But I think everyone watching could see that I'm just going to give him a new nickname. He's going to be called Sir Fouls a lot because, my God, he seemed dedicated to getting himself like a yellow card or a red card. It was just, I think I tweeted 3 times during the game. Like at first, just like, oh, he's just a liability. Then he gave away a penalty. Then he got sent off. But it's not all about him. It was Turkey. Just really, they look like they look like a team that's waiting for change, especially in Sinal Gunas, because he looked like a living corpse on the touchline for the second half. It just looked stone dead and was just waiting for the final whistle. And I mean, I'll genuinely be surprised if we finish the stream and Gunas has not announced his resignation yet, or he's been sacked, because I feel bad for him. He was saying before the game that the Turkey team have really, since the Euros, igniting flashbacks, the team's just really lost all of its confidence. So it's, they're in need of change, but I mean, they've got that game against Norway in 4 months time. And well, that's the big game, isn't it, really, to see what they can do.
That is pivotal for them qualifying for the World Cup or finishing in second for that playoff position. For Norway too, that is massive. We've seen what Norway can do already. They probably could have beaten the Dutch actually at the start of international break had Haaland hit the ball the other side of that post and it had gone in. It seemed as though the Dutch were able to make the most of the space once they scored that early goal. It just opened everything up because Turkey had to come out. And rather than playing the compact game that Van Gaal thought they might have played, they were just so easily got at. I think they just destroyed them that early goal. But can you tell us, Alex, what you thought of how the Dutch were able to play on the Turkey weaknesses? And who were you impressed with watching the Netherlands?
Yeah, I'm dying to talk about Netherlands. So, as John in the comments said, enough about Turkey. We won, scored 6. That's the headline. I'm back in John, and I'll go. Let's talk about Netherlands. I'll tell you what, it was really just the tight interplay. I haven't managed to watch a lot of the Netherlands in my lifetime, which is quite small, as many people can look at me and assume I am quite young. But I've grown up really with, outside of books, the Netherlands being quite a gritty team, like the 2010 side that was, I think, quite controversial in the Netherlands, and 2014 Van Gaal. This team is full of dynamite, really. Like the link-up play was beautiful. Do you know the thing that really stood out to me? I've got my own sort of standout player, but he definitely deserves a mention. Davy Klaassen. I think I remember saying about a year ago, pretty much the day, that he's just like one of the slowest footballers I think I've ever seen. It was in a Dutch game. He literally, I can't remember who it was against. You guys might even remember. It was when the Dutch conceded. It was under Frank de Boer, and he got made to look like Per Mertesacker. The winger just like left him with 20 yards of space, even though he had a head start. And today he was brilliant. Like at one point, I looked up. It was like, I think quite late into the first half. I knew he had started, but I looked up and was like, "Is Donny van de Beek not being brought on?" He just looked like a completely different player. Maybe that's the Ajax thing, but I think Depay was just that was off on too much. Depay was clearly the best player on the pitch. He's my favourite transfer of the entire summer. I think him coming to Barcelona is the first good thing they've done since they paid Neymar's dad £2 billion. But yeah, the Depay is a rocket, and if Van Gaal could keep him in this sort of form, I'm fancying the Netherlands to do extremely good things next year in 2022.
He was absolutely brilliant tonight. Again, this guy is an animal when he plays for the Netherlands. I just don't know what overcomes him. It's just this sort of pride and knowing how important he is. It also just really suits him the way that they play. There's been loads of comments coming in, and there's 3 I can see right here about David Klaassen. I'll try and get some of these on the screen if I can. Adam was saying that Klaassen is sort of like the Dutch Dark Knight. He's not attacking midfielder all the fans eventually want starting. Donny van de Beek's probably the one they really want. But he's the one we certainly need and want right now. Michelle says that Klaassen has been exceptional today. Memphis is unreal. Man of the match is sure. Vijay says that Klaassen is something else. Memphis hat-trick. Couldn't get any better. Mike, what did you make of the link-up play between Klaassen and Memphis? And do you think that they maybe do they share a room together in a hotel and do 1-2s with each other to have a little practice? Because the interplay was just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was incredible tonight. I think David Klaassen had something overnight to turn him into Dennis Bergkamp with the flicks that he was doing in the first couple of minutes and for the second goal as well. It was outstanding. I think it was the game of his life in everyone's shirt because he scored the first one, set up the second one, and then won the penalty. David Klaassen, who I think previous 2 games have been calling out for him to be dropped for even Ryan Gravenberch or Toon Koopmeiners, but tonight he proved Louis van Gaal right. I think Louis van Gaal's going to have a massive smile on his face, proving all his doubt is wrong. Putting Daley Blind in the oven again tonight, maintaining David Klaassen for the 3rd game in a row. And yeah, it's all paid off, and I thought he was excellent tonight. But what can you say about Memphis? It's just goal after goal after goal. It just makes me so happy that after years of saying how I hate how English media have treated Memphis Depay and made him seem like he's just a Man United flop and he's not going to do anything else. He's turned into one of the outstanding players of his time now. He's gone to Barcelona. He's just exploded. He's Netherlands' key man. He's going to end up as Netherlands' highest goal scorer and highest assist provider of all time. He's going to break both records in his career. He's going to do wonders at Barcelona. It brings me back to a video from earlier in the summer I don't know what that crazy Spanish TV program is that everyone always puts on Twitter. They all seem to lose it, but there's footage earlier on of a guy absolutely losing it at the fact that they're going to sell Lionel Messi, and all they'll have to watch this summer is Memphis Depay up front. And I mean, he's been proven wrong as well, because Memphis is just on fire this season, and yeah, he's just a superstar, and I think he can do anything. And it's going to be interesting in years to come where people talk about Netherlands greats, and just to see where they rank Memphis, because if he breaks all the records, then sure he's got to be up there with talk of one of the best Netherlands players of all time.
Scary development, and yeah, you're probably right at this rate because of what he's become. And we said years ago in this podcast that the striker was a problem. There wasn't someone coming through that of that kind of level. We were looking at all the young players who are still very young, actually. But Memphis was always there, but was never at the top of his game. wasn't getting game time, or he was a left winger. And we did think actually at the time he might have been a striker, and it was under Koeman that transformation really happened, him becoming a striker, and wow, it was worth it. Let's get some more thoughts in from people watching. Outstanding, what a revenge wait for this since 2015. Incredible. And someone with second name Gmail, first name Mai says, I told you guys we would marinate the turkey nice and delicious for tonight's dinner. Well-deserved revenge. And a comment about Bilo, I think there's a few about him. I'll have to fish them out in a moment. What an incredible goalkeeper he is. He's come in for the 3 games over this international break, but wasn't in there before. He loved the midfield too. Matime was wondering if Van Dijk was okay. It seems that he is in the interview after the game. He said that I think he is all right now. He just had a whack on the ankle. Just bring some more up. And Arthur says, great, well-needed win. Pity that mistake at the end. But to be fair, Bilo had a good game overall. Justin Bilo, Mike, another one, absolutely imperious Amalia. Bilo is first choice goalkeeper now. We said before the international break, both me and you, that he had the chance to do that and become first choice. Why is he so good? What has he done over the past year or so to really become this imperious goalkeeper at Feyenoord and also step into the Dutch national team?
I think he's just a very commanding goalkeeper. Let's just ignore the fact that he made an absolute howler in the last minute of the game when it was 6-0. But before that...
There you have that aside.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But before that, he made an outstanding save from a free kick. He has that in his locker. It's the same when he was playing at the under-21s during the summer. He made a few incredible saves. Went over France, I think he made one that was incredible. And he's an excellent shot stopper. He's excellent 1-versus-1. And he has a bit of personality about him as well. He's heads and above the best goalkeeper the Netherlands have. I would say he's even more reliable at the moment than Jasper Cillessen, who can't even get a game at Valencia. So I think that at 23, Bio is the goalkeeper to go with. He's good on the ball, good distribution, forgetting the last minute howler, and he's a great shot stopper. I hate to say it because I don't like him, being a Newcastle fan, but there's a little bit of Pickford about him as well. He's just got that sort of swagger about him, I think, that on the pitch that I like, and I think he's going to be Netherlands #1 for many years to come.
He seems to be someone with quite a calm head most of the time. That mistake at the end maybe was a bit too relaxed. I remember in the game before we played for the Netherlands for Feyenoord, where he made he ran all the way out of goal, didn't he? And it was the wrong decision. Yeah. He got sent off. But like the development in maturity that he's shown over those 3 games has been really, really impressive. How about I'll show some comments on screen whilst Alex, what did you think of some of the players in the team tonight? For example, Bilo just ripping up.
See, Bilo, I think Michael covered pretty well. Someone I hadn't really heard of properly either. There's a couple of Dutch players, I thought the guy who came on and scored, I've already got his name, Kuhl or something. A couple of players who really came in surprised me. There's a couple of things I wanted to mention as well. Van Dijk, I think that I was noticing some things he was doing on the pitch that really showed what the Netherlands missed. There was a good moment, I thought, where Klaassen had come to receive the ball, quite a bit short to receive the ball in possession. Van Dijk had it, and Van Dijk made a pass, and then Klaassen was sort of pointing to where Klaassen should be instead, or saying, go to this space. It's a nice inkling of leadership that perhaps the Netherlands missed. And it's just like a nice big of okay that Van Dijk's seen something that the other players haven't, and he's got the leadership to point it out. It's just a small thing I quite like to look of. I wanted to talk about Van Gaal as well because the thing that really I kind of alluded to it before. The thing that's really caught me off guard about this game tonight is how fun it was. Like Van Gaal has famously not been fun. And I kind of had that without looking too much into it before this game. Like we all saw the press conference quote going around, and while it was funny, it did seem typically bitter Van Gaal. In fact, I was reading I was reading a book recently. It's Fear and Loathing in La Liga, and the author Sam Lee, he when covering what happened with Barcelona and Van Gaal, he'd had an interview with Van Gaal and said, I had a lengthy interview, and Van Gaal had said yeah, there's a few people I didn't get on with, but quite a lot of the people at Barcelona I had a very good relationship with. And the author went to Barcelona and said what Van Gaal said, and the guy about the Barcelona staff was just like, if that's what he thinks, that's okay for him. We'll just let him keep thinking that. It'll probably make him feel better. But I was looking at his career to bring it all the way back around. He had that break. He hasn't had a job since the Manchester United role, unless I'm mistaken. I think that's the only time he's had a proper long break from football since he started managing at Ajax. So it looks like this break's definitely done him a lot of good. Like even on the touchline, he was just smiling the entire game. I think we've definitely got a sort of new Van Gaal that I don't think many people are used to. That was the thing that was really on my mind from this game.
It's a good time to bring up Rui's comment here that man of the match was Louis van Gaal. This person has just come back into this setup and wrung it clean of all the rubbish that De Boer put into their heads. He's picked up the players who were really struggling under De Boer, and he just won all the authority of the players in his squad. And what a turnaround. The player management, I just tweeted about it, player management and the tactical awareness is so different to what De Boer. I mean, we know that Frank De Boer is a rubbish manager. He won't, I hope he doesn't get a job as a manager anywhere else again. He hasn't deserved it in his career. But Van Gaal has got this magical touch, both with the players, but also he knows what he's doing. He's almost been sharing a bit too much, like you said, in his press conferences with that as well. He's been letting slip the players that are going to be playing in the games and the tactics that he wants the players to do. And he even caught himself at one time. I said, I've said too much now. Oops. Mike, tell us more about Van Gaal, but why we were so excited about him before he was appointed, and what have you seen from him in the past 6 days?
Yeah, I think we spoke about it at the time. There's a lot of people that were wrongly commenting saying that Van Gaal's he's out of touch. He doesn't know what he's doing now. He's too old. It's nonsense. He's a great coach and he always will be. And he's come into this setup. He's taken his time off. He's enjoyed his time in Portugal with his wife. His wife's probably sick of hearing his voice, so he's probably getting him out of the house. She's probably pretty happy as well. And we're now just in the Louis van Gaal world because it's great to be there. Everything's about him. He takes the pressure off the players at times because he is just that big personality, and he installs confidence. You saw it during the 2014 World Cup. Nobody expected Netherlands to do anything, and he got to third place because Van Gaal got him on a run. His tactical awareness is great. He gets the players on side. I just don't have enough words to say about him because I think he's just transformed this Netherlands national team from absolute dross under Frank de Boer, who couldn't do anything, to somebody who's now just working wonders. And there's just interesting comments he makes during press conferences are great. And the ones about him, he's on the touchline, so he's coaching Berghuis, and he's noticing things that Gakpo could be doing. So he's coaching Gakpo through Wijnaldum, whereas he's on the other side of the pitch, and he's just noticing everything. He's coaching everyone from the side. He's getting them to all play well. He's making big decisions. Tonight, De Ligt was dropped to the bench. De Vries, now Van Dijk's partner. That's a big decision. Would Frank de Boer done that? Probably not. He's giving youngsters a chance. It could have easily been Gakpo, Malacia, Wrench, Koopmeiners, Till. They're all just along for the ride this time, but every single one of them played. And all of them played well. He's installing confidence. He's bringing the youngsters through. He's playing 4-3-3, even though he doesn't like it. He's playing as well. He's scoring goals. He's everything. He's just great, and he's taken the media to town. And yeah, it's great. He's just a great entertainer, and I love having him back in football. And I think he wasn't treated well by the English media, I don't think, towards the end of his time with Manchester United. He wasn't treated well by Manchester United. He's taking his time away now, and he's back. He's back with a vengeance, and he's going to prove that he really is that top coach. And who's to say if he doesn't take Netherlands to the World Cup semi-final, let's say, that there won't be clubs or other countries banging on the door if he does decide to leave, because, yeah, he's just a wonderful coach. But you can also say that Henk Fraser and Danny Blind behind the scenes, they're probably working well as well. So the goalkeeper coach, just the whole coaching setup has done a great job so far, and hopefully that continues on the internationals next month and the ones in November as well.
Mm-hmm. I can only see him retiring, though, to be fair, from here, just because of the gap he had between these last couple of jobs. Now he's 70. I don't see him doing anything else apart from this. He's definitely here to the World Cup, and we'll see what happens after that. Some of the comments about players around the edges of the squad. Raz says his Daily Blind's position is under threat. For me, still think it is. I think Tyrell Malacia has done okay, and Owen Windell will still come back. Blind isn't as certain to play at left back all the time, but his experience has made a difference so far in his ability on the ball. Kane says that Cope Miners was good, had a really good pass for the Till goal. It's surprising why he doesn't play more, according to him. Martin says, good to see Bergwijn perform well. He seems to be a bit forgotten this year. Very explosive on the wing. John thinks that Barlow's power comes from his daring netbeard. And Villain thinks that Marlon and Cope Miners very impressive when they came on. Raz also said about how is it now a question of who partners De Vrij. I think the competition's brilliant to have between Van Dijk, De Vrij and De Ligt, who are all three, what do you call world class? But I call them world class, the three of them, all excellent defenders. We want to have a bit of a competition. If one of them's injured, you know exactly who's going to play. If you know suspended, again, you know exactly who's going to play. Let's bring up something here about the formation. Clay says, I just got by myself. Was screaming for 4-3-3 all this time and a new manager. Now I do exactly that. I could finally see our team playing in the way that they're supposed to. Van Gaal talked a lot about playing 5 defenders, but he hasn't so far. So I guess 4-3-3 is the way forward under Van Gaal now. They've played Norway and Turkey with a 4-3-3. I can't see him automatically just switching to a 5 at the back to play Gibraltar in the next international break.
I think in fairness, it's often called a trope nowadays that formation's just a thing that's put on paper and they don't actually go by it. But I think it's kind of fair level. It's like you saw high Dumfries was pushing up, and I think Blind was pushing up quite as high. So I think in possession, Van Gaal's going to aim to a bit like how Pep Guardiola does, like have one fullback push high, and maybe that's why Blind is starting a left back. It's just about how he gets things working in possession. I mean, I'll be interested to see what Van Gaal does with more time, because my understanding of him is what he's always wanted as a coach. Maybe he'll chill on this now, but he's always wanted his players to memorize certain runs, and that's how I think he won. It was Ajax, so that's how he won the European Cup with Ajax, just getting players to memorize patterns of play. So I kind of liked how it felt structured at times today, but there was a nice bit of creative freedom. I want to see which way Van Gaal goes with it, but I think the 4-3-3 will still be a basis he uses, because it generally is most of the time anyway. So I don't think Clays doesn't have to worry about anything as well. He can stay happy over the 4-3-3.
Can rest easy. Some love for Memphis Depay is also coming in. He's without doubt the best story in football. That is a big statement there. Ruben says that Depay for Golden Boot candidate 2022. What do you think, Mike?
If he does wonders for Barcelona this season, then of course he can. And who's to say he won't be lifting that Ballon d'Or after a World Cup win next year? So who knows? The world's his oyster.
Paul Dennis thinks that De Boer should go to Man United.
In fairness with De Boer, he's consistently managed upwards despite consistent failure. So genuinely, the Man United job Yeah, it's probably a realistic opportunity for him.
Oh dear. Well, Mike, Alex, thank you very much for doing this anyway. And it's really enjoyable, particularly when the Netherlands win this well and they do entertain. It shows that they can be up there with the best teams in the world when they're at their best. But for me, there's still a few things that need to be settled that Van Gaal has to figure out. And the next international break, it's Latvia away and Gibraltar at home. It's not really the time to be answering those kind of questions, I don't think. It might even be a chance to play some different players to see what some younger players are like, if they can impress. Going forward, though, I guess the only big game left to go is Norway at home. And what for you might has to happen between now and then, looking ahead for the Netherlands to go forward to the World Cup and feel optimistic?
I think a lot of Van Gaal's worryiness about the 4-3-3 comes about the wingers, and it'd be great between now and the World Cup starting if another couple of wingers could emerge and show some form. You've got El Ghazi at Villa. If he,
I'm a Villa fan, and I'm not really ever overly convinced by him. He works really hard. For me, Bergwijn's got more magic than El Ghazi. As good as El Ghazi is, he tries hard. I wouldn't see him in the Netherlands though. But I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like, what other wingers are there at the moment?
Yeah, because right now Berghuis doesn't have any competition on the right, so we need somebody to step it up, whether that's an El Ghazi to show himself or Danjuma at Villarreal. I love that move. Maybe he can play his way into Noah Lang. I just don't think is.
What about Calvin Stengs at Nice?
Another one, yeah. If he starts, he's just back from injury. If he starts scoring goals and playing well, I think he did well in his debut. I saw some good tweets about how he played. So yeah, there is wingers out there, but I need to show form. You know, Stengs hasn't shown form in a long time. Danjuma's been playing in a lower league. Lang needs to do more in Belgium to catch Van Gaal's eye. Guys needs to do more. And then there's players like Justin Kluivert who need to do a lot to come into this side. So we'll see what they do this season. But all the Dutch attackers, they've made good moves this summer. So it's just about how they showcase themselves. You know, players like Brian Brobby, if he gets game time at RB Leipzig, starts scoring goals, does he become an option for the second striker spot? Not judging on his miss tonight for the under-21s, but you know, there's players coming through that can come into the squad if they start playing well. Van Henkel at PSV is another one. He could be the one that breaks in. So for me, I think that Van Gaal has a lot of options. There's a lot of players that could come into the squad, and we've not even talked. Yeah, you mentioned Wijndal as well. He's another one that could come in at left back. So I think the next international period is 2 winnable games. You probably won't change much before then, but yeah, between now and the World Cup, just another couple of forwards coming through, some players in form, and just hope to God that Memphis doesn't get injured or, it wouldn't go well from there. But yeah, Memphis, Frankie, and Van Dijk are now the 3 that you just need to hope maintain their form between now and the winter next year. I keep thinking the summer next year, the winter next year, to do it. So yeah, for me, it's just there's a lot of optimism right now around this Dutch side. Van Gaal has brought that back in, and it's just exciting to see where it goes from now. You know, after that 1-1 draw against Norway, the comments that we were looking at were people saying that Van Gaal should go already. So it's crazy from that last week to this euphoria after this game. It's football can be fickle at times, but from now until the World Cup, it's just let's just hope for some exciting times, some more wins, and yeah, it could be a good tournament for the Netherlands.
The excitement is definitely growing. I can see so many more live comments here as well, and I do apologise we didn't answer your questions this evening. If you want me to get back to you, drop it in the actual YouTube comments, and then I will definitely respond to you about what your questions were. The game tonight. Now, there's someone here that says, Adri says, I hope everyone voted for Football-Oranje in the awards. And then Hamza Kahari says, what award? And it's like, you don't know. We voted in the final of the Football Content Awards for 2 separate things. And of course, we're very appreciative that you got us into that final for those 2 categories. If you'd like us to win in either of those categories, you can vote for us in the link that I've just popped in the YouTube description. Give it a click. you can see that we've been nominated for the best international podcast, but also the best club content creator international. If you put us both, Football-Oranje, in both of those, then drop down menu, you click vote now, you've done it. You voted for us. And if you could do that, we'd really appreciate it. So thank you if you have already. Thank you if you can tonight. If you are watching though, and you enjoyed this, do click like. Let us know if you enjoyed this podcast, and we'll keep doing things like this. I think Mike and I are due to do an actual podcast soon about all things Dutch football related. So that will come soon, I'm sure. And there's many more things besides to come on Football-Oranje. And Mike will have his player ratings on the Football-Oranje website very soon as well. So if you want to see who he thinks the man of the match was, then I think it's not going to be very hard to predict tonight who the man of the match was. But you can go and check that out. Thanks everyone for your kind comments anyway. And send them in if you want us to answer your questions. Click like and subscribe. And thank you, Alex, for joining us tonight. You can go and check him out on Twitter. If you just search Euro Expert, he's bound to come up. Right, we're going to head off.
Thank you.
That's all right. We're going to head off now. So thanks everyone for watching.